The other thing is people don't always get is understanding how to access the equity in their home or their investment property, and they end up collateralized. And this is a function of, if you're talking to someone at work and they go, you know, I went and saw the bank manager and I said I want to buy this $400,000 property. He said, no problem, let's check out your home and your situation. Here's 420 grand, that'll get it for you. What they've actually usually done is they've cross-collateralised the property. So they're using the security or the additional equity in your home to actually offset the risk of having the investment property. Now, for mum and dad investors who are only ever going to have that one property, not such a big deal. But for those investors that are looking to grow their property portfolio, you imagine that you have $1 million worth of assets in your property portfolio. $500,000 property in Melbourne, $500,000 property in Perth. The Perth market goes through the roof and it hits 600,000. The Melbourne market bottoms out and hits 400,000. Your actual portfolio is still worth $1 million. So you go to the bank and go, hey, my Perth property's gone up. Can I pull out some money because I want to go buy something else? And they go, no, it's still worth $1 million. Sorry. Whereas if properties are actually secured separately, you only look at the Perth property. You go to the bank and say, hey, Perth's gone up 600,000. Can I pull out 80 grand? They go, yeah, well, sure, that looks right. So having your properties cross-collateralised often actually limits what you can do. But for those who only want one or two properties, it's they see the benefits of potentially being with the same bank and having a professional package and having maybe an extra 0.05% interest rate saving, and they go ahead with that. The reality is you can go to your bank and you can ask them to structure you so that you don't have to be in that situation. I'm just going to show you, I guess, quickly one of the ways that you can do that. So let's say that you do have your home and you have the mortgage that you currently have on your property. And remember, we think long term, so buying maybe one or two properties. What can happen is that you go and pull out the equity available in your property to actually go and buy the investment property. So you're setting up a loan just against your home to tap in and access the equity. Now that's usually a line of credit. You may have heard about that. But the reality is that during the GFC, that could have been something more like an offset account, a variable loan with an offset account. And that was because some of the banks in the States were saying for people who had line of credits that weren't tapped into, they were freezing them and not letting people take money out. So it depends on the situation, but usually it's a line of credit. A line of credit is just a different type of loan, like a big credit card. You don't pay interest on what you don't use. So if you want a $200,000 line of credit against your home, you can afford it and service it, and the equity is available in your home, go to the bank, you ask for it, and you have it structured and secured just against your home. Then with that $200,000, you then go and purchase the second property, and all you're doing is using the deposit from that line of credit to actually provide the funds. So that line of credit is just providing the deposit, maybe a 20% deposit for the property, and cover the costs, stamp duty. Then you go and get a separate loan that's actually secured here, secured against the one property. So your loans are actually structured separately. And you know, this could be with the same bank. The second property could be with a different bank. It just depends on the situation, and you know, obviously you need to talk to your mortgage broker or your bank about that. But just understand that, you know, cross-collateralisation to a point gets people to some way to achieve what they want to do, but often it actually inhibits them going forward.